Snow fell in slow drifting sheets, soft enough to look harmless, thick enough to swallow sound. Maya tightened her scarf and laughed as Rusty bounded ahead, his reddish fur flashing between the trees like a moving flame. "Not too far," she called. Rusty stopped, looked back, tail swishing. Then something darted through the brush, quick, silent. He bolted. Rusty. The leash slipped from her glove. One heartbeat later, he was gone. The forest closed around the silence he left behind. Rusty ran until the air burned in his lungs. The smell he chased vanished. He slowed, confused. No Maya.no familiar trail, just forest. He whined softly and turned in circles. That's when the wind shifted, new scent wild, he froze. Shapes moved between tree trunks, grey, pale, watchful, wolves. They didn't rush. They didn't snarl. They simply observed, as if deciding what Rusty was. One stepped forward large, silver-furred, steady as stone. Rusty's ears lowered. His tail hovered uncertainly behind him. He gave a small, questioning whine that drifted into the quiet forest. From the far side of the circle, the largest wolf stepped forward. Its fur was pale silver, almost glowing against the dim winter light. It stopped several steps away and watched him, calm, steady, unreadable. Rusty trembled, but he didn't run. Something about the stillness in the wolf's posture told him this wasn't a chase. The wind shifted. It carried a distant human scent, faint, familiar. Rusty's head lifted. He let out a hopeful bark. The silver wolf's ears flicked. It turned its head toward the same direction, listening to something beyond Rusty's hearing. Then, slowly, it stepped aside. Maya found paw prints, not one set, but many. Her chest tightened. She called Rusty's name until her voice grew thin. The forest gave her nothing back. Snow thickened. Light faded early behind grey clouds. She considered turning back, but the idea of Rusty alone out there made her stomach twist. She pressed forward. Then she heard a sound that stopped her cold. A layered howl rolling through the trees. Not close, but not far enough. The wolves led Rusty along a ridge toward a narrow valley. Wind rushed through it, carrying scents from far away. Rusty stepped onto what looked like smooth white ground. The cracks split the silence like thunder. Ice shattered beneath him. He yelped as freezing water swallowed his front legs. The current tugged hard, pulling him sideways. He scrambled, claws scraping uselessly. The silver wolf lunged forward. Its jaws gripped the loose skin at Rusty's neck, not harsh, not gentle, simply precise. With a powerful pull, it dragged him free. Rusty collapsed, shaking violently. The wolves circled him. Their bodies formed a wall against the wind. Steam rose faintly from their coats. Rusty leaned into the warmth without understanding why. For a long time, no one moved. Darkness came early, snow fell harder. The wolves guided Rusty toward a sheltered hollow beneath leaning pines. It wasn't a den, just a place where wind could not reach. Rusty curled into himself, shivering. The silver wolf lay a short distance away, watchful but calm. He listened to their breathing. Slow, steady, not hostile. Somewhere deep inside, fear loosened its grip. He slept. He didn't understand why they hadn't left. The wolves rested in a loose circle, their bodies turned outward, ears moving at every distant sound. They were close enough to share warmth, far enough to keep their distance. Their breath rose in slow clouds that faded into the dark. The red dog curled tighter, nose tucked under his tail. His fur was still damp from the frozen stream. The cold pressed in from every direction, quiet and patient. Maya stumbled twice and nearly fell a third time. Her fingers ached despite thick gloves. She whispered to herself to stay steady. Panic wouldn't help Rusty. Then she saw something that made her heart lurch with hope. Small paw prints beside larger ones together, moving in the same direction. She followed them into deepening night. Maya knew the smart choice hours ago had been to turn back. That thought followed her like a shadow, logical, persistent, impossible to ignore. The trailhead was behind her somewhere beyond the storm. Warmth was behind her. Safety was behind her. But Rusty was ahead. She moved carefully down the slope, boots sinking deep into fresh snow. Wind rose suddenly, fierce and sharp. Snow whipped sideways, erasing tracks almost as soon as they formed. Rusty woke to the sound. The wolves were already standing. The silver leader moved uphill, glancing back once. Rusty followed. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. The forest groaned under the storm's weight. Branches snapped somewhere distant. They climbed toward higher ground. Halfway up, Rusty faltered. Exhaustion pulled him down. The silver wolf stopped and returned, nudging him forward again and again, patient, persistent. Step by step, they climbed. At dawn, the storm softened. Maya crested the ridge just as shapes emerged through thinning snow. She froze wolves. 5 of them. And Rusty, standing among them. Time slowed. Rusty saw her first. His tail lifted weakly. He took a step, then another. The wolves did not block him. The silver leader stepped aside, clearing the path. Maya moved forward carefully, whispering his name. Rusty reached her and collapsed into her arms, trembling with relief. She held him tightly, eyes wet, heart racing. When she looked up again, the wolves were retreating. Silent, unhurried. The silver one paused at the ridge line, meeting her gaze for a long, steady moment. Then it disappeared into the trees. Carrying Rusty wasn't possible for long stretches, so Maya wrapped him inside her coat and walked slowly, resting often. Tracks from the storm had vanished, but the sky cleared enough to guide her. Rusty leaned against her chest, warm and alive. By late afternoon, the outline of the trailhead appeared through the trees. She almost laughed from relief. That night at the cabin, a fire crackled softly. Rusty slept deeply, paws twitching in dreams. Maya stepped outside under a sky filled with stars. The forest looked peaceful again, almost ordinary. Then a single howl drifted across the distance. Not a warning. Not a claim. Something quieter. She placed a hand over her heart. "Thank you," she whispered. Inside, Rusty lifted his head as if hearing something familiar, then settled back into sleep. The forest returned to silence. But it no longer felt empty. If this story moved you, tap like and subscribe so you don't miss the next rescue.